Just want to share this little video. So I had a little situation. I wouldn't call it a situation. We're gonna change the wording. One of my friends' parents asked me how come I couldn't pick them up and take them to work or anything. Now, mind you, I'm in the car. This is not my car. All right. And the thing is, the narrative or whatever, everybody's like, from how everybody's looking at it, a lot of people will make it seem as if I don't have my priorities set or things like that because I don't have a car. Now, the thing is, I've had a car in the past. I've had 3 cars in my life that I own personally. My first car was a Mustang. My second car was an Impala. My third car was a Kia. Now, I lost all 3 of these cars. 2 because of damage or whatever. Like, I wasn't taking care of the car properly. And then the third one I lost because it got impounded by the police. Not a problem. But now I done learned something new about myself, and I kind of look at the future on where I want to be with my life. And what has happened is, like, I've learned how to save money. How did I learn how to save money? I cut out everything that wasn't beneficial to me. So I got me a little room or whatever. I stay in like this little studio room, and I got a little studio room, and I got a job that's close to the studio room. Or I got the job first, then I found a place where I could stay that's close to where I work at. Now, because it's close, I don't mind putting on a raincoat when the time comes. Because it's close, I don't mind walking, riding a bike, getting through the day. I don't look at day-to-day stuff as a big issue or a big problem. What I'm looking at is the future version of where I want to be. And because I cut expenses out, all I pay for is a room and my phone bill. I use the extra money to invest in where I want to be in the future. I invest into good companies. I invest into things that I read about. I follow a couple of people on Instagram, YouTube, and I listen to the things that they're telling me to look out for when studying these companies or looking at these companies so I can invest into the future. Now, we have YouTube platforms, 19 Keys, Aristotle Investments, Wall Street Trapper, Ian Dunlap, Earn Your Leisure. They'll give you good books to check out. They'll give you stock advice. They'll give you advice on what to invest in. And as you start moving around in this space more and more, you will learn the things you should look at, the things you shouldn't pay attention to, and different trends on how to help you invest your money. But what I look at it is, I was paying for a car that I couldn't afford. And this is the thing, you can't afford certain things, so you got to build your life to the point where you can afford it. Why get a car from time to time that you don't really like when you could invest your money into a point where you have enough money to go get the car you actually really want? For me, my dream car is one of the newer Cadillac coupes, or like a CTS, one of the 4-door Cadillacs. I like Cadillacs. I like Jaguars, but that's for later on. The car that I would like is a Cadillac. These are $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 cars. Okay. So the expenses as far as like the car, which is a down payment, a car payment, which is every month, and then your car insurance also every month. So these are, one, the initial investment that you could have put towards a stock, a crypto, some land, some real estate, whatever it is, however much money you have to play around with. Put it towards something that can help you make money later. And I've been learning how to do this. So I cut out the expenses of the car. Those are 3 things. What else that was costing me time, or that I had to use my money towards that wasn't beneficial to me? Just wanting to be on the scene a lot. Like, wanting to be around friends, wanting to go hang out, wanting to party, wanting to go drink, wanting to go smoke. Now, if you can afford these things in your life, do your thing, have fun. But the thing is, when I get home and I realize how much of these expenses I have spent towards things that didn't help me later, I started making changes in my life. And a lot of times this world, they'll judge you for the things you did, or judge you for the things you went through growing up as a kid or growing up as a teen. you got to understand and realize it's only you versus you out here. So once you change that narrative, change that dynamic, and start focusing on you, you'll begin to start moving in better spaces that benefit you, because you're not focused on the past. You're not focused on the things that people once held over your head. None of that matters. What matters is you. Move to another city, move to another state, to where that stuff doesn't really, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't bother you, whatever the case may be. Who knows? It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things, but what I'm getting at is use that money to invest into your future. Use the money to invest into a product or a brand or a business that you got. If you take pictures in photography, invest in better cameras. If you do YouTube, better microphones, better audio, better lighting, better quality. You play instruments, buy better instruments. It's always about growth and improvement. So what can help you later? And the thing is, it's about a return. You want to get a big return from things later. Don't look at trying to get rich today. Don't look at trying to succeed today, because as you got to understand, when you're investing your money, it takes time. These are building blocks. But think about it. Think about how many times we spent money on shoes, clothes. We spent money on things that didn't matter. And over time, you're like, dang, if I'd have saved this and did this, I'd have had an extra 500 here, extra 1,000 here, extra 2,000 here. This stuff adds up over time. So what you got to do is understand, you got to do the hard part of when you want to go here, when you want to go there, when you want to go have fun. Nah, let me take it on in. I made my money. Let me take it on in. Let me go home. Let me take this money and put it towards something that'll help me in the future. And they got so many different platforms. They got so many different things that you can invest in, the different things that you can put your time and effort towards. Because the thing is, at the end, when life moves on, when life gets better, when you change your route, or if you don't change your route and life keeps progressing, you got to live with those choices that you made later on in your life. So why not set yourself up for an opportunity to win, an opportunity to succeed for later? And listen, I am nowhere near. When I say nowhere near, I'm just starting this space. But what I've been learning is, you hear it all. I mean, if you're not in this space of investing and things like that, you hear a lot of the times, whatever you put your mind and attention towards, that's what your world starts gravitating around. That's what you start hearing. So what I started learning is that, it's like YouTube algorithms or Instagram algorithms. Whatever you like frequently, whatever you constantly spend your time looking at or viewing, those are the suggestions that are recommended towards you. So because I'm always learning educational things, I'm watching podcasts or interviews with different investors. I watch basketball from time to time. These are the things that are recommended to me. I listen to rap. So these are the things that are recommended to me on a daily basis in my algorithms. And it's because I started placing myself in these spaces. This is now what is recommended to me. So in this space, once you start listening a lot, once you start being in this space a lot, you'll begin to hear that, invest what you can afford to lose. Stack, save it for a time when it's time for you to get into the market when you want to. It's several different things you'll hear while investing. It's several different things you'll hear while improving, while you're getting better at these things. And it takes time. It takes time. One brick at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time. But you got to understand and realize that the next 10, 15, yes, ma'am, you're welcome. The next 10, 15, 20 years of your life are going to come no matter what. The next 10, 15, 20 years of your life are going to come whether you set yourself up or not. And sometimes you got to understand it's not necessarily about you. You know, we start hearing a lot of the times now out here, generational wealth and things like that. Before you get to generational wealth, you got to know how to be sufficient for yourself. Then you think of, okay, what's the long term? The long term is 5, 10 years. And I always tell my friends when we're talking, I'm like, yo, if we would have been in this space, if we would have been thinking or moving like this when we was in high school, figuring yourself out first and then moving in this space in high school, we'd be okay now. like companies, okay, for example, companies that were out when I was in high school, Nike, Amazon, of course, Microsoft and Apple, different companies. But what I'm getting at is the price of these companies were very, very cheap compared to what they are now. So if you would have understood that most of us live with our parents through high school and they don't make us pay bills. Some of us, we had to. But for most of us, find you a little job. Find you a little job, start investing into companies while you're in high school, accumulating this money. You got to learn how to have a balance of wanting to be around friends, but also building yourself up for where you want to be. And a lot of times, I don't know about everybody else, but for me, I would just always want to be around my friends, always want to hang out, always trying to, like, I guess, prove that I was down, that I was trying to be a part of groups, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. The thing is, you got to know how to be over there with them a little bit, but then be about yourself. People respect you more when you focused on yourself. People respect you way more when you're not a yes man. See what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to go through life to learn these things, and that's okay. But accept knowledge, accept education from the people who are trying to show you how to do it. That's the one thing I learned. You gotta, okay, let me say this. This might, it is what it is. Sometimes your parents can be wrong. Based on what you want to do with your life, sometimes mom and dad can be wrong. Like, you trying to become a professional actor, you should go take advice from someone who is acting. Mom and dad teach you how to maneuver through life amongst, I guess, a mass of people, but they can't teach you how to act. They can't teach you how to play sports if they wasn't a part of those things. They can't teach you how to become a top chef if they wasn't always in the kitchen practicing how to cook up some things. They can't teach you how to become an artist if they never made music themselves, if they never produced a song. Like, you got to place yourself around people who are moving in that same space, or if not, they're already at the point you want to be. Now you got a goal, you got a limit, you got something you're looking at, like, okay, now I know where I want to be, now I know where I want to go, so let me build towards that and just go towards it. And over this past few months, I've been learning how to sit still. Once you learn how to sit still, you learn how to stay calm, stay relaxed, and focused on the long term. You're going to look up and realize you're way ahead of a lot of people. And the more people you involve in your life, whether it be a girlfriend, a boyfriend, more friends, you have to learn how to incorporate, or you have to learn how to manage the people that are in your life. You can't be over here with these people too much. You can't be over there with those people too much. Your money, you come first. As long as you don't got kids, you don't got a family, you got to put yourself first. Now, I'm not talking about family like mom, dad, brother, sister. I'm talking about your own kids, your own wife, your own husband, your own boyfriend, your own girlfriend. Focus on you. And if you can't, if you have a family, what I've learned is there are families out here who everybody's on the same page with. The whole family's on the same page about getting money, investing, improving their life, getting a family business. You see it in a lot of other cultures and communities a lot. For me, what my example is what I learned is, okay, I'm gonna use some of the families I seen. Like, my dad was always washing cars he used to wash cars. So some of the people used to go meet, the black families, man, they had family members, like the whole family was pushing towards one goal, and they opened a family business. The Hispanics, the Chinese, the whites, it was just different families. I was watching, I'm like, yo, this is different from what I learned growing up. And this is different from what I learned growing up on, like, how to use money, how to invest money, what to put money towards. And it was very helpful because my family, we didn't do those things. We didn't know how to put aside our egos and our problems for us all to invest into one big thing, one big goal, one big dream that'll help us basically forever. We chase temporary excitement, temporary success, temporary joy, and it doesn't do nothing but leave us in an everlasting type of struggle, everlasting pain, because we're chasing things that don't pay us back. We don't chase assets. We chase things that look like assets, and in return, they're really liabilities. But that's just my thoughts on those things. Drop a comment, drop a like.